Welcome back to another episode of Unscripted, the go-to podcast for those flipping the script and taking the unexpected path. I'm your host, Jessica Bergio, holistic life and business coach, author, speaker, and self-proclaimed high-energy hype girl. Each week, I'm bringing you inside. No gatekeeping here. I'll touch on proven holistic business strategies, powerful mindset shifts that have led my clients through massive transformations, and no BS conversation with industry leaders designed to help you get out of your own way to actively pursue a life of purpose. If you're ready to ditch the limitations at the door, hit follow and get ready to be activated to step boldly towards your big goals. Now let's dive in. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Unscripted, the podcast. It's your girl, Jess Bergio, and today we are going to be talking about something super powerful. The fact that you never know who is watching you on social media. You never know who's listening, and you never know who's about to DM you with a life-changing opportunity, all because you decided to show up today. So I'm going to share a personal story around what happened. I literally just screen recorded my girlfriend, who were literally separated at birth, I'm pretty sure. And she let me know probably, I want to say it was about 4 or 5 months ago, that she'd been following me for several years. I think since the beginning of my podcast. My podcast has been out for 5 or 6 years. It's crazy. She listened to almost every single episode, and she was like, our stories are so similar. I just needed you to know, one, that I existed, and two, that by you sharing what you've shared, it's helped me so much understand that what I'm going through is normal, or that I'm not the only one who's dealing with the single mom teenager thing. Our kids are literally the same age. She was going through an interesting part in her relationship when I was going through something earlier this year, and we really just got a chance to connect. We actually ended up getting on a phone call. And she was a painter. I want to give a backstory because she was a painter, and that's how she made her money. She was a beautiful artist, and she had some issues with her arm and her shoulder, and her body basically told her to F off, and she wasn't going to be able to do what she could do anymore. And so she actually went through my podcast course thinking she wanted to start a podcast, and she wanted to dig into the online space, because it feels like that's where we should be, is online all the time. Or maybe that's the only thing we should be doing, when so many of us are people. We should be in person. You're the people who light the room up when you walk in. You're the person who makes somebody else's day better. And that's why I'm back in the salon space. That's why I host in-person events. It's why I'm rebranding back into the beauty and wellness space, because I truly missed it for myself. And if you're good at that, man, it's a skill set that's really tough if you don't love it. So anyways, she ended up, get this. She ended up trying to save or make some money. I couldn't remember what it was. So she literally was I'm going to sell everything in my house. So she basically opened up her home like it was a thrift store. So a resale store. And she ended up selling the majority of her belongings in the house. I don't know what the preface was for that. If she needed the money, if she was just I want to get rid of all of this stuff. If she was literally just let's see if I can make some extra cash. Turned out she basically sold everything in her house, and people were we want more. And she started getting friends being hey, I have a bunch of stuff if you want to add this to be able to sell. She was walking down the street one day, and she comes across this vacant store that had just been I don't know the backstory to all of it. I'm going to find out. We're going to have her on the podcast. Anyways, before you knew it, within 2 weeks, she was up and running, and she literally just posted a video on her social media. This can't be more than a month ago that she found this space. She's got a full-blown store, thrift store, that is totally tricked out, because obviously she's a painter, so she's got such a keen eye for color. It is the most beautiful thrift store I've ever seen. It looks like a regular boutique. And today she went on live and she shared this cheetah print that she had of these animals, and it's her back part of her office, and she's this will never be sold. She's but I want to give a shout out to Jess Bergio, because Jess and I have been connected for a while, and she's really pushed me and shown me we just have to take action. We have to be able to take these risks. And I don't think I would have done this without her. So go check out my stories if you haven't today. I shared a screen share of what she said. Her name is Lisa Guest, and I will tag her in the show notes below. But that is validation that we don't often get on social media. We don't often hear or see the impact that we have by showing up, which is sometimes the reason why some of you guys stop showing up, because you feel it's all for nothing. Or you look at your story views and you're oh, there's only 10 people that have watched my stories. That's not worth it. It's not impactful enough. But wouldn't it be impactful if you impacted one person or 2 people a day? We're so caught up in these vanity metrics. And I know this happens so much inside my podcast community, is people are my numbers aren't high enough. I don't have enough listeners. And I asked them, how many downloads did you get? And they're like, 20 or 40 or 50. Some of them are getting over 100. And they're like, this isn't enough. And I'm like, you guys have to understand, if you were put in a room of 40 people and asked to speak on the topic that you shared on that episode, wouldn't that be impactful? And then what if half of that room came up and was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing that? That's the power of speaking your truth, owning your story, and giving life to the experiences that you have had. And you might think that some of this shit's mundane, some of this stuff isn't that big of a deal. And often maybe it's not, but maybe it's the thing that was keeping somebody stuck or making them feel alone or making them feel like they don't want to be here anymore. You never know the impact of what someone else is going through, that if you share a story or you share a moment, even a story about someone else. I'm talking to you about somebody else right now, Lisa, but she's doing the damn thing and giving me credit because of my ability to be brave enough to show up. And there was a point in time where I wasn't brave enough to show up, where I couldn't articulate my sentences, where every other word that came out of my mouth on this podcast was like, or, and just like, I wasn't very structured. But after 350 episodes, guess what? I got better. And the more you try, the more you put yourself out there, the more you try to get better and you put the reps in and you get the coaching and you get the help and you figure out what works and what doesn't work, you start to find your own rhythm, flow, and cadence. And that's the whole point of, the ability to fall back in love with social media. If you're at a point where you don't like it and you're like, I'm just not built for this, you can learn to love certain things that help expand you. But it's that uncomfortableness that you got to work through. And each and every day, like, I'd rather sleep in. I would much rather sleep in, roll over, have a bowl of fucking sugar cereal, watch some TV, and absolutely do fucking nothing. Maybe go shopping, right? But that's not life. I'm here to make a bigger impact, and I know you are too. And that's why you're probably listening to this podcast, why you listen to podcasts in general, and why maybe you're showing up and maybe you're doing big things on social media, and maybe you are building a personal brand. And so that's the segue I want to get into, is visibility is what's important, not the vanity. Visibility equals the ability for people to see you and know that you exist. That is a strategy. And we're all about strategy here, right? We want things to make sense. We want the work that we're doing to equate to something, right? So your personal brand is definitely not going to be built overnight. I don't care if you go pay 25, 30 grand for someone to like make you a brand Bible and create some cool fonts and take some fancy pictures of you. That is not truly the essence of your brand. That's your brand aesthetic. That might be the vibe you follow, right? It's built through consistency. Over time, showing up. Are you who you say you are? When people meet you in person, are you that same person? Are you totally different? Do you only show up online one way and then in person you're a complete cunt? I don't know, right? Or are you like super personable in person, but then you suck on camera because you're afraid to show up on social media because of perfectionism? There are so many things and reasons why people aren't doing the things they need to do to build a personal brand. Personal brand in 2026 is going to be all you hear. Guarantee, mark my words. Just like I said earlier this year that a podcast is going to be as powerful as having a social media account, it is, right? This podcast has literally helped me find my voice. It's literally connected my voice to my brand. It's created a brand. It's become a brand asset. Like, it's built trust at scale. And that's something that is very hard to do in this quick scroll, doom, whatever on social media. The podcast has preceded my reputation by the network that I've built, the friendships that I've been able to create with this show, the opportunities that have come because of the conversations I'm willing to have, right? It allows me to share with you, which is quote unquote selling. It's things that I love, that I'm offering, that I feel I'm going to be helpful in helping you move the needle in, whether it's events, my in-person stuff, my masterminds that have sold out, getting you into the podcast community, helping you launch your podcast with Media Unscripted. The podcast gave me a real reason to show up consistently. It gave me content that I couldn't get anywhere else. And it really helped me find clarity in not only my business, but my life. And it gave people a way to connect with me way beyond just the likes on social media. Going viral is fucking cool, yeah. But like, what's the point? My only wish is that I could see who downloads my episodes. That's what I wish. I wish that podcasts would change and that we could actually see who is downloading the episodes. I mean, we could see who likes our social media content, right? That's cool. But we can't see who downloads our episodes on the podcast platforms. So that's my only request. If I could just put that into the ethers, I would love that. But listen, I want you guys to understand, if you don't truly love like long form content in the form of like spoken word, if you love to write, think about how you can create long form content on LinkedIn. Maybe you're going to be an email master. Maybe you love writing copy out to your email. Maybe it's blog posts. Maybe you want to start a blog. Maybe you want to start a Substack. If you haven't heard of Substack, check that shit out, because I have 2 friends going fucking nuts over there, just building the most massive communities, and they own those platforms. So when you think about distributorship for your brand, you want to own your distribution rights, right? Podcast is something that you own. Social media is not something that you own. Your email list is something that you own. Brick and mortar. I own this. I don't own the building. So it's like you want to move people from free platforms into platforms that you own, because tomorrow social media could be gone. Remember when TikTok stopped working for like a day? I don't know. Everyone lost their goddamn mind. This could open up opportunities for you to get in speaking gigs. Maybe it's not starting a podcast, but it's becoming the best podcast guest you could be, right? Do you have a keynote? Do you have a story that's worth sharing? Do you have something in your life that can move the needle for someone else? Put yourself out there, create YouTube videos about it. Go on lives, start a Facebook Live that you show up every Tuesday at 10 o'clock talking about life, business, wellness, whatever it is that you're passionate about that you eventually want to possibly monetize or create a community around. Like, so easy. And the quick hitters that I love are like TikTok, the short stories, shorts on YouTube. Obviously, reels are really, really easy ways to connect and create impact. And then threads. I've been reintroduced to threads through one of my content creator mentors right now. And he's having me use ChatGPT to create some of the most powerful threads, which are basically like one-liner quotes that are helping me not only create titles for my podcast episodes, but create hooks and reels for actual reels. But then they're going and doing really well on threads, creating conversation over there. So where do you feel most in flow? Like, where do you enjoy showing up? And then ask yourself, where can I be consistent and how can I make this fun again? How can I do something that people are going to look at me and be like, wow, she's really been doing this for a long time. Maybe I should lean in. Maybe I should check out and see what else she has. Podcasting, though, is one of the tools that can help you go super deep. And you do not, I repeat, you do not need to be perfect. The less perfect you are, the better. Now, you can't be fully like not articulate and have a podcast. People will just get bored and be like, this bitch can't land the plane. But like when you share the power of your voice, you build so much authority. And it's such an intimate platform with people, because most people are like taking you on a walk, driving with just you in the car, and you're alone with them. It's just the two of you. It's just like the most magical thing, right? So I think for me, I love long form storytelling, and that's what podcast allows me to do. It also allows me to highlight either my unique perspectives or that of my guest, which is such a gift to them, which gets me a yes almost every single time I ask anybody to be on the show. Literally, I feel like there's no one I couldn't get on my show right now. And that's where I get the ability to interview these experts and get free one-on-one time with them. Why would I not share that with you? Like, it's such an epic opportunity to be able to create relationships with people of high value and then share that with you guys. And then above all, podcasts are reusable. They're literally the most evergreen content. They can be keyword searched. Someone can find episode 20, which is from 5 years ago, tomorrow by keyword searching something that is in that episode. So there are so many strategic ways that I share inside the Unscripted Network that are helping my podcasters really level up their game. It's not just about sitting down and recording. It's about making sure that your episodes are stuffed with keywords, that your show notes are stuffed with keywords, that your hooks, your titles of your show are SEO optimized for your blog posts that should be going on your website. Then taking all of that, the transcripts, making them into like 2 or 3 blog posts for LinkedIn. If you're really a writer and you love expanding, you can take that shit over to Substack and start monetizing over there. I mean, it's insane. But for those of you who already have a podcast, if you haven't heard yet, right, and you want and are craving more support, more accountability, and more strategy around creating that visibility piece in community with the whole goal of growing your show, growing yourself as a person, we got a whole crew inside the Unscripted Network that is next level. They're next level humans. And that's where we workshop this stuff in real time. We meet 3 times a month for the workshops, and we have 1 time a month we have a powerful guest speaker who's doing the damn thing in the podcast space or in the content creator space that will help move the needle for your podcast podcast. And if you're listening and you're like, I've got a podcast, it's taking up so much time, I just feel like, I don't know if I should keep this. I don't know if the ROI is working for me or not. That's why we built Media Unscripted. I've had this podcast agency now for almost 2 years, and I feel like so many of you are trying to DIY your whole business. You're up editing at midnight, trying to get that episode out because you're like, I'm going to be consistent. I know I recorded this, but I haven't edited it yet. And you just drag your feet. And a lot of you are dragging your feet on launching your show because the tech is overwhelming you. The amount of work that it takes to actually produce the show. Some people make it sound like so easy. Yeah, it's pretty easy to launch the show, but like, you got to show up consistently. You got to record the episodes. You got to not suck. You got to market that episode. You got to potentially book guests on your show. So there's a lot of moving pieces. And that's why I knew I was the go-to person to build out this agency and to create ease for you, because I was held back for over 2 years by all of the things I just shared. The tech, the not knowing exactly what I was going to talk about, the structure that it was going to flow. How is it going to be in my business? What's the ecosystem? How am I going to drive traffic over here? I don't even really know what I have to say. I didn't have a built out brand or offer suite. I was still a salon owner back then when I started my podcast. And now full circle 6 years later, I'm a salon owner and space holder again. So it's crazy the journey that you can go on, but we help bring your voice to life through Media Unscripted. We have systems set up for you. We have automations. We have strategy support. And if you are inside Media Unscripted, you get a free membership into the Unscripted Network community. So just shoot me a DM if you have a podcast or you're wanting to launch a podcast, and let us help make it a lot easier for you. Let me help you with the support and the strategy on exactly how to position your podcast so that you are showing up in the right genres and that you are getting the attention that you deserve. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is like tangible tips on how to create impact and visibility. Because if we're talking about a personal brand here, we really have to not niche down. You're never going to hear me say niche down. The niche is you. My buddy Matt Gottesman coined that. I will forever take that to heart. You are not a niche. You are a human with a lot of different facets of your life, things that you're interested in, experiences that you've had. Maybe you've had multiple jobs, right? But I want you to try this. Try this. Pick one platform and commit to showing up on that platform for 30 days. Just 30 days. You can use your podcast content to repurpose. You can do clips, quotes, carousels, stories, whatever. Start sharing your point of view, not just like stupid little tips, right? Nobody wants the 3 general tips on how to like be more confident. That's bullshit. That looks like ChatGPT now. What is your unique point of view? Or at least say it in your own context and tone. Don't read something off of ChatGPT. I love chat for like outlines and to think things through and to kind of work through things, but I mostly love when I can just let myself riff off of a certain topic or two. I keep my notes up so that I don't go too far left and I don't forget anything that I wanted to share in an episode. So I think, if you can just be real and relatable, that connection converts far more than you trying to be perfect. You can create invitations through showing up, not just like open-ended content. You want to give people something to respond to. So create question boxes, whatever you can do in those 30 days to show up, whether it's stories, posts, reels, threads, LinkedIn, TikTok, Substack, fucking live on Facebook. Pick one and go hard for 30 days. I guarantee it will change your life and your business. You will probably pick up new clients. You will probably pick up, a cadence for how you like to show up, and you'll prove to yourself that you did the damn thing, even though no one was paying you to do it. And no one really, I don't want to say doesn't care, but it's like my analogy with the gym. No one's paying me to go to the gym. Nobody cares if I miss a workout. I do though. My body knows I did. I suffer from it and I'm less of myself. This morning I had a killer workout. Look at how fired up I am for this podcast. I did have a second cup of coffee before we hit record, but that's just how I do it, right? Every time you speak, every time you post something or publish something, you are building your brand. Let me repeat that. Every time you speak, every time you post something or publish something, you are building your brand. So if you're waiting until it's perfect, which a lot of you freaking are, that's why you're hiding and playing small, you're not building anything. You're building inconsistency. And then when people see your shit pop up, they're like, oh, she's back from what? Vacation? What is she doing now? They don't know. You just kind of stay invisible. You stay back of mind, not top of mind. I want people thinking of me when they think about podcasting. I want people thinking of me when they think beauty and wellness. I want people thinking of me when they think the go-to person for me to work with to take action. You got to anchor in your messaging so that people know what you stand for. You got to be a little bit bolder, a little bit more visible. You definitely got to be more consistent so that people can see you and find you, right? The more you share, the more you're able to be seen, and let yourself be seen in all of who you are, right? And the final thing I want to drop in with you is I just want to invite you to a very special event that I'm hosting with two of my good friends whom I've never met in person, by the way. Okay. Let's just be really clear. This is the power of building a personal brand. Both of these girls have done the same thing, as have I. That's why the three of us feel like we know each other so freaking well. It's like the coolest, funnest, awesomest thing. So Brenda Johnston is one of my really good friends. I've known her for several years. She's a business and energetics coach, kind of a strategist, but more of a mentor. And she literally has this energetic presence that you're just like, everything's going to be fine. Tell me what to do. She has an amazing podcast where she has a lot of affirmative recorded episodes that you can go to sleep to, that you like, really good mindset shifts. I've loved her for a really long time. And then my other good friend, Samantha Parker, is coming, and we are hosting the Creative Content Collective. And Samantha is a social media marketing manager. She's done this for over 10 years. She records podcasts for her clients. She creates social content. She creates full on creative like direction for her clients' brands and their business, personal brands especially. So Sam and I were talking and we were like vibing on what we should do and how we should probably collaborate and do something together. And that's when I was like, we need to invite Brenda into this. And she's like, let's call her. So Brenda lives in Canada. Sam lives in Utah. I live in San Diego. And I'm like, I've got the space. So if you're ready to stop creating content alone and you want to build your brand with like actually in the room energy, because nothing's like being in the room, right? There's nothing like it. If you've been to ever events where you actually get to like collaborate with people and create stuff in real time, it is next level, right? It's going to get you out of your comfort zone. It's going to get you out of the normal ways that you do things. It's going to elevate your presence, your confidence, your game, just in how you show up, right? So this is October 18th here in San Diego at Creative House SD. It's called the Creative Content Collective. And like I said, I'm hosting it alongside my girls, Samantha Parker and Brenda Johnston. And you're going to walk away with real content, visibility strategies, and really, really, like I said, bold energy to show up for your brand like you have never before. The link's going to be in the show notes, or you can DM me CCC and I'll get you all the info. Creative Content Collective. This is something that's been on my heart for a really long time. I wanted to create something here in my space called Creative Content Social Club, but we'll see. Maybe that's in the future. But for now, we're doing this pop-up event October 18th. You can grab your tickets down below in the show notes. It's an Eventbrite ticket. So if you have a friend, bring your friend, BYOB, bring your own bestie. And I just really feel like this was my gift to you today to remind you that building your personal brand doesn't have to be so scary. The things I shared with you are already freaking things you know. I know you know all this stuff already, but are you doing it? Where are you showing up? Let's circle back. What are you going to do for 30 days? I want to hear. Hit me in the DMs on how you're going to show up for 30 days. What platform are you picking? Tag me in it. I'll reshare all of your shit, right? If you have a podcast, go back, pick some of the best episodes you've ever done, repurpose that content, create more reels and clips out of it, create fresh stories for old episodes where you're driving traffic to stuff that's maybe a few weeks, a few months old, right? It's not always about creating new. Sometimes it's about repurposing what's already been working or looking at what's not working and making some tweaks and moving forward. This is all just a playground and you guys get to make it whatever you want, and you can allow social media to be fun and a platform that lets you be seen and create a personal brand unlike ever before. If you have any questions, DM me. If you want to chat more about how we can work together, you know I love my one-on-one business strategy clients. That is what literally lights me up. I had the opportunity to do some coaching this past weekend, and she's back, baby. She's ready for some one-on-one clients. So if you've been craving that extra next level support, hit me. If you want a little taste of what we got going on, come to the event October 18th. See what it's all about. I've been hosting community in my space for the last 9 months. We ran a series called the Entrepreneur Success Series where we brought in guest speakers, much like a live podcast, and it was impactful. It was amazing. Like I said, nothing better than in-person energy, but I'm so grateful for you tuning into these episodes on Unscripted, because I know for so many of you, you can't get into the rooms or you live far, far away. I just want to know I see you, I feel you, I vibe with you. I'll know it's you if you send me a DM and you tell me that you listen to this episode, because your support means the absolute world. And if you do have a podcast and you want help getting it launched or started, let my team at Media Unscripted take all the heavy lifting for you, do all of the editing, present you with assets each and every week that all you have to do is post on social media. We can help with email support. We can help with strategy, cover art creation, all of that. We got you. We'll set you up. We'll get your RSS feed dialed in, and we'll get you launched within 2 weeks at the most, especially if you've already got a good brand going and you've got a little bit of content that you're ready to just like hit that button and go. I love this. This has been my favorite way to share information, is through this podcast and this platform. So like I said, if you got any questions, scroll down, check out what's in the show notes, pick what you need, leave what you don't. And I'll see you on the next episode of Unscripted. Take care.
Giving back is easy. Leave Unscripted your 5-star rating and written review. I appreciate your support more than I could ever put into words.